Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza, and welcome to Gramza Market Studies for Thursday, January 7th. Let's take a look at this NASDAQ market. Across the board, I was looking for an up day in these indices when we really didn't have that. The S&P did get a little bit stronger. Basically, the Dow was unchanged. The mid caps did firm up. It was really the strongest out of these indices. And also, the NASDAQ market didn't do much of anything. And, wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of behavior. I was hoping to have a little bit of a pre-rally, though, going into Friday's unemployment number. And that's where we're going to really see some potential for action. That's a great excuse for the market to do something. And it could be that, today we're not going to see anything unusual other than a rest day getting ready for the big day. And let's take a look at so right now we're not looking for much of a move. If we were going to have it for these markets, I thought, yesterday's action would be important. And we're going to see some markets, though, where it did behave, I think, in terms of expectation, what we were looking for. Now, when it comes to the currencies, the euro continues to struggle. The Swissy, it did get some follow through, but 97.50, we are finding sellers at those levels. Wouldn't be surprised to see a sideways day today for that market. Same thing for Japanese yen. Expect a sideways market. And also when it comes to the Australian dollar, that is the lead currency really. We are now closing above that swing high. It's very healthy. We're seeing some weakness coming in here in the Asia, Australia, New Zealand session. But the issue is going to be what it does in the opening, I think, when it comes to the United States. I think that's where we're going to expect to see some action if we're going to see that today. British pound, expect more unchanged type action. This is a market that made a magnitude objective on both sides, the sell side and the buy side, but the second half of the position would have been a scratch. In the Canadian dollar, we also saw some firmness there. That's very healthy. Today, in the Canadian dollar, it's at a critical phase. If it comes back off or if it trades lower, especially back down to this red line you see, same thing for the Aussie, it would be very bearish going into Friday. So really what we want to see here is just kind of an unchanged type day to higher. So that'll be important. And when it comes to interest rates, we're seeing the short end of the curve firming up. We're seeing buyers continuing to come in there. Going back a few days ago, one of the things that you and I looked at was how this market moved with respect to this benchmark candle. And as it comes down towards that bottom, we did find those buyers. I thought it would go sideways longer, but the last couple days here, we have seen these buyers coming into that market. We're looking for a rest day there today. Same thing for the notes. Looking for a rest day in that market. This is also an example of a market that did not reach magnitude objective, and it would have also had a losing trade. So this would have been a losing trade with respect to that market, and right now there would be no position. That would be the concept. In the bonds, on the other hand, we've met magnitude objective to the upside, and so far it's only come within about a tick of the magnitude objective to the downside. So, interesting setup. We're looking for basically an unchanged type day. Again, primarily because of the expectations for Friday. Now, when it comes to the metals, we are looking for follow through across the board in the metals markets. And we did see that. This right here, the way this is constructed doesn't imply that. But we did find buyers in that in gold and silver. We're looking for a rest day in those markets. It really behaved properly. In other words, they look like copper. As I mentioned, this is a market I feel very positive about, and excuse me. And we are seeing some positive signs. This was a beautiful move in terms of how it moved up. That's the kind of healthy move we'd want to see. So I think that's right in that respect. But we're seeing a little bit of selling coming in here, and right now not surprising after the kind of move that we have. So we'll see how this settles out. But again, I think the critical days for these markets as well, it's going to be Friday. And if we look at the energy market, crude oil, beautiful, just beautiful. Here's the benchmark candle. We're staying above the midpoint. Buyers came in. It's acting properly. Now, it's also at a very critical area from a technical perspective. It's not out of the woods. So is this a great move? Yes. Do we expect kind of a quiet day in this market? Yes. But today has the potential for breaking this trade. The same thing for Friday. It's important to maintain these levels if we're going to see continuation. Natural gas looks like it did find some buyers, but I have to be honest with you, I'm not convinced. This is a market that I really expect more of this action. I don't know if it has the reason out there to give us that push, but if we have positive numbers on Friday, we'd expect a strong move here in natural gas. Now, beans. We can see that beans kind of came off here a bit, and what we're looking for in this market is for this market to potentially actually give us a push back up. Today is going to be an important day, I think, in beans. Also, if we had this buy point to that sell point in beans, just to give you an idea, that would be $1,200 would be the dollar value of that move, and it would have also initiated a short position, which it has not reached magnitude objective. Now, this is happening right now in the Asia session, so we're looking for continued weakness in the U.S. session, by the way, as well. Corn, the same thing. This has not reached magnitude objective to the upside, and it also has not been taken out on a risk point of view to the downside. So we want to be cautious about being long corn. Wheat, the same kind of situation. Wheat, we are finding sellers at these higher prices. It gave us a nice move yesterday, but this kind of weakness this early in the session is not a good sign for continuation. Well, this concludes today's market studies. Hope you found a few ideas helpful, and I'm looking forward to being with you again tomorrow. And in the meantime, take care.